There's been no official announcement about which networks will broadcast this big Saudi show on December 23rd featuring Joshua and Wilder, at least at the time of recording this video. Now, whenever Eddie Hearn has been asked about the situation, he feels the need to constantly remind us of the fact that Anthony Joshua is exclusive to DAZN, meaning he can't fight on any other network. Why does he feel the need to repeat this? That's a question for you guys, and it's something I've been pondering, because it's not exactly a secret. We all know he's exclusive to DAZN. And work it out. Now, best case scenario, and what sometimes happens in these situations, is you either get a dual broadcast where the show is aired on 2 different networks, and I'm talking about within one country, because if you're talking about internationally, then yeah, there's going to be multiple networks. But within one country, let's just say the UK, there'd be 2 different broadcasters, or one broadcaster would compensate the other monetarily for borrowing one of their fighters. That's best case scenario. But what's the worst case scenario? And forgive me for being cynical here, folks, but we're dealing with boxing promoters and television networks, so I can't help being cynical. Worst case scenario would be the entire card gets shown on TNT Sports in the UK, except for Joshua versus Wallin, which will be shown separately on DAZN. Now, that wouldn't be too bad. It would be a little inconvenient and it will be a little weird, but it wouldn't be too bad if Joshua Wallin is part of the regular DAZN subscription. What would be unimaginable, unthinkable, would be if they were to charge a premium for Joshua Wallin, a pay-per-view, meaning fans would get double charged for the one show. A TNT Sports pay-per-view where you get to see everything but Joshua versus Wallin, and then a separate pay-per-view for Joshua versus Wallin. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I just wonder why Eddie Hearn keeps insisting on reminding us of the fact that AJ is exclusive to DAZN. Is he preparing the public for bad news? Now, if that scenario did manifest, to me that would be an absolute scandal. Because as far as I'm concerned, Anthony Joshua is not pay-per-view worthy at this stage. Not against Otto Wallin anyway. When's the last time Anthony Joshua put on a pay-per-view worthy performance, either in terms of excitement or the quality of opposition that he beat? You'd have to go back years. Joshua Franklin was not pay-per-view worthy, in my view anyway. And I guess every individual's got their own perception of what is pay-per-view worthy. It's your money at the end of the day. One man's trash is another man's treasure. But personally, I wouldn't pay for an Anthony Joshua fight, unless it was maybe Wilder or Fury. Other than that, it should be part of the DAZN subscription. If he was still exciting, and yes, the Robert Helenius knockout was a nice knockout, but what preceded that knockout wasn't great. It wasn't particularly exciting, and it wasn't particularly impressive. For my money, he needs to prove himself pay-per-view worthy again. Once upon a time, he was that, but at this stage, for my money, no. Now, I applaud him for his past couple fights. Don't get it twisted. The Dillian Whyte fight was going to be pay-per-view, but it ended up being Franklin and then Helenius as a late replacement, and neither of those fights were pay-per-view. They were both on standard DAZN. AJ had to take a pay cut to make that happen, and rightfully so. The most important thing for any fighter is activity, and AJ took those pay cuts, at least for the Helenius fight, in order to stay active, to not be on the shelf. It's a price worth paying, because when the big payday does come, you want to be ready. You don't want to be rusty. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. Are you concerned at all that the worst case scenario I just described could actually happen? Or will the networks and the promoters actually get it figured out to the fans' satisfaction? Leave your comments below.